Okay. Rightio, firstly we want to hold the gun by the barrel of the gun so we've got good control over the gun. Secondly, hold your animal by the side of its mouth. Sit the applicator on the back of the tongue until you feel the animal swallow. Then carefully down. Once you've got it down, squeeze the trigger off, pull it back away from the capsule and then carefully remove it.
Easy. Thanks, Joni. Now, Bill, as the local vet, is there any thing you want to add to the application?
I'd just like to say that it's very important to stay calm, allow plenty of time when you're doing these procedures, and remember that the back of the throat is a very sensitive organ and easily damaged. It's not a problem if you just be gentle. It's very important not to force the gun, just to be patient and wait for the animal to swallow before you release the bolus.
One thing that we haven't talked about today, which you might shed some light on, is copper application at the same time as zinc.
Well, in my view, the problem is that zinc and copper compete for absorption in the rumen. So I think generally it's better to top up the copper when you finish the boluses through the eczema season and you're coming into the autumn. That's an ideal time to apply some copper to the animal to top up the liver reserves. There are some new copper compounds out now that are protein bound, which could be absorbed at the same time, but I don't really think that's any advantage.
But in general, you basically don't administer the both together?
No, it's recommended that you wait into the eczema season and then look at the copper status of the animal and treat it if necessary.
Great, thanks Bill. Now Graham, the same thing with sheep as with cattle?
Yes, it is. It's the same process. The only difference being that the sheep are quite a lot different to work with. The reason being is that they're a smaller animal, they've got a tighter gullet, therefore it's you've got to be a little bit careful putting them down, and one of the biggest aids we find is by using a veterinary lube that you can purchase from your local centre. This here is a lube that actually has a antiseptic in it also, which stops any infections getting in with it. One of the things when using a lube, please don't use anything with paraffin in it. If you're a small block holder, you don't have veterinary lube, then you can probably use some cooking oil if you wish to, but make sure there's no paraffin. The reason being is that the actual capsule is coated with a beeswax and the paraffin will affect the wax. So you don't want that happening. So all you do, get your ice cream container, pour your lube on like this. That foam acts as a wick. It also acts as a soft bottom so that you don't damage it. Slip your top on. That stops any accidents. You can tip it over, do what you like with it, can get jumped on. It doesn't cost anything and nothing gets spilt. Get your capsule, slip it into the end of your gun, push it right in so that it's home, through the hole, and that's lubed the ends of the capsule so it makes a nice easy insertion.
Great, let's get to it.
The head up above the knees, pulling the neck right up and clamping the knees in so that you can hold the actual sheep in as firm a position as you can. Slip your finger through the side, open the mouth, in she goes. Keep to the centre, just as you did with the cattle, to keep the actual capsule away from the end, and down it goes. There it is, it's all applied.
Nothing but a rattle on the head and it's right.
Next thing of course is to mark that animal so that you don't do it again. That's done with the elastic.
We've talked a lot about satisfied customers using the time capsule. We're going to talk to a few today. With me now is Janet Mackey. Hi there, Janet.
How you going?
Now, you've been using the time capsule for a number of years?
Oh, I've been using it ever since it came on the market, so
yeah.
It's a few years now. Yeah, definitely.
And before that, were you using any other form of zinc treatment?
Water at the runoff here with the heifers, we used to put it in the water, but it was pretty hit and miss, or drenching.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so have you
since I've been using the bolus, I'll tell you, I will not go back to drenching, and I will not go back to the water trough. It is just marvellous.
Right.
Yeah, I've had no eczema in the young stock since I've been using the bolus. I use it in my yearlings and in my rising 2-year-olds ever since they've been out, and no, I won't go back to anything else.
And how many boluses would they get? The 2 cover your season, or do you have to do it a third time?
I actually have one of the hottest properties in the Waikato. I've had spore counts on the home farm over 2 million, and so I will use three times.
Yep.
Start around depending on the season, starting around the 10th of January.
Yep.
And take it from there, and you just sort of gauge how things go, what the spore count's doing, and yeah.
Okay, I notice here we don't even have a head bale, and so you just put them either in the race or just in the pen?
Yeah, pretty much. You just start the top there, and they're pretty easy to handle. These animals are pretty quiet. I have done some animals, not younger ones, with just in a small pen. I've just walked up to them and put my arm around and down their throat. So easy application is pretty good.
And here you've got about, I think you said earlier on, 50 on the runoff block. Would you envisage if you had 500 you'd still be using it?
It wouldn't matter if there was 5, 50, 500 or 5,000. I would still use them. Yep.
With me now is a sheep farmer using the time capsule, Mr. Baden Jordan. So when do you start your facial eczema program?
In January.
January, yeah.
Now I'm doing it whether I need to or not.
Yep.
I was even contemplating going down back to the King Country to get some safe country.
Yep.
But this has just been a saviour.
And how many stock are you running now?
Well, because I got so badly hit, I cut the sheep down to about a third of what I had.
Yep.
Well, they cut me back.
Yep.
The deaths.
Yep.
2,700 I picked up one year.
From facial eczema? Jeez.
No, the whole thing's completely turned around. There's a bit of satisfaction in the job now. The wool production is unreal, quite unreal. And weight, because it's a very heavy fibre, but somebody wants it. And so it sells very well.
And how many boluses are you?
That's three.
Three
per
boluses?
sheep.
Yep.
They finish around about April, May.
Yeah.
Every 6 weeks.
Yep.
And because this is such a bad area for worm, I've got to drench them anyway.
Yep.
So I do the two. And it's incredible actually just how well the sheep are doing. Quite incredible.
Great.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Hopefully by now you've learned a lot more about facial eczema and the time capsule. I know I definitely have. There was a lot I didn't know about the effects and the Smartest Management program. I'll certainly be using the time capsule and know my stock and my farm profitability will benefit. If you're looking at your strategy, there are a few facts to consider. The time capsule is a very cost-effective solution. It's easy to administer and is one of the most effective preventions in the marketplace. The consistent cover is also very important. Anything more than a few days without zinc and your stock are at risk. There are many satisfied customers out there who agree. The main fact to remember is that the long-term effects of facial eczema can cause you huge losses in production over the lifetime of your stock. Facial eczema has no cure, the only solution is to prevent it. So if you want to protect your production and your stock breeding program, the time capsule is the best investment you can make.